If you ever want to get in a heated debate on social media, you're feeling a little argumentative, want to kind of spice it up a little bit, just stake your claim on either side of this topic and you'll be good, you'll get what you're looking for. But in all seriousness, in today's video, we're going to talk about, is a calorie, and are all calories equal? Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's Anthony Munda. Thank you for tuning in to another video. Really appreciate your support. I just seen we just passed 900 subs, which is, I'm not concerned with the number, but I'm excited with the community we're building. Down in the comments, it's all super positive and whatnot. So for you, I really appreciate your support, and especially the ones who's been here since the beginning. Like, you're the reason I'm able to do this, that I'm able to, do the things I want to do in life. So I really appreciate you. And, I'm gonna be giving out like $100 when we reach 1,000 subs, alright? So tell your friends, tell your family, alright? Another few housekeeping things. In the description, like the first 3 things is my online coaching, which you can apply for, which I'd love to help you out on your fitness and, weight loss goals and stuff like that. My Instagram and my Twitter. So if you guys ever want to connect with me, or if you have any question whatsoever, hit me in the DMs of those, or in the comments here. Like, I respond to every single thing. If you ever want to just say what's up, or if you have a question, I will answer it and I will help you to the best of my abilities. Enough of all that. Is a calorie a calorie? Alright, yes and no. Yeah, I know. Hey, it's the true answer. Alright, but we can break it down a little bit. I'll simplify it for you guys. This took me a while to kind of figure out myself, really. And to be able to explain it is actually another thing. Okay, so we'll start with this. Is a calorie a calorie? Yes. A calorie is a calorie. Like, if you say it out loud and you say it slow, a calorie is a calorie. It's a unit of energy. So wherever that calorie comes from, 1 calorie is 1 calorie. 300 calories is 300 calories. It doesn't really matter the source of the calories or where it's coming from. A calorie is a calorie. Okay, just like these books. Okay, a book is a book. But, like we'll get into next, if you open them up, they're different on the inside. Aha, I just kind of thought about that when I was looking at, like, before the video. I don't know. I don't even know if that made sense, but it made sense to me. I'm just a big book guy. Alright, anyway. Alright, so are they all equal? Let's take care of this, okay? So, like we said, a calorie is a calorie, but I will say they're not all equal. Okay, let me get into that. And that's because the calories can be further broken down into what you guys know are macronutrients, so proteins, carbs, and fats, and alcohol. Okay, so when those enter your systems and stuff like that, they react differently within your body and stuff like that. So if you're having something super high in carbs, that's going to react differently in your body, and it's going to produce different results than if you were to eat something that's like high in fat or like high in protein, right? Does that make sense? It'll make you feel different, look different, and here's a perfect example. If you're losing weight and you're on a very high protein diet, and you're in the gym training your butt off, resistance training, progressive overload, adding weights over time, that person who's on their weight loss journey is gonna look a ton better, or at least different. I know everybody doesn't aim for the same look, but they will look more aesthetically pleasing than the person who chooses to lose weight by just counting calories and just not, caring where they come from. So they don't really care to get their protein in and their carbs or stuff like that. So yes, they're not really all equal in the fact that if you just take the sum of the calories and you just hit a calorie goal, you're not going to look the same as if you were to be more meticulous about your macro splits and timing and all the other stuff. But here's what I really want to get into, because I know this applies to most of you guys, and even applies to myself. Yes, so they're not equal, and it probably would be optimal to, have this amount of protein, this amount of carbs, this amount of fat. But we don't want to start majoring in the minors. Macro splits when you're losing weight are the minors, because you see, you cannot lose weight without inducing a caloric deficit, so that's calories number 1. Right? So if you start to do things like you know, you're not only counting calories, but you're having to track your protein, carbs, and fats. It's going to, you know, for a lot of people, they like it because, you know, that type A personality, you know exactly what's going on in your body. But for most of us, for most people, that's super overwhelming. So when that happens, it's more optimal, but then the adherence just plummets because it becomes more difficult. So number one, you have to worry about calories, right? So is a calorie like we talked about before? Yes, you can lose weight really eating anything you want as long as you're eating your caloric goal for the day or for the week, you know, if we're talking in, you know, the grand scheme of things. But if you're targeting a certain look, if you want to feel the best, optimize your training, your sleep, your recovery, then you're gonna kind of have to worry about the sources or the food that you're eating, right? Now we know this is common sense, but I want to say it, just a little disclaimer. Most of your food intake should come from mostly whole foods, fruits, veggies, lean protein, and stuff like that. But the problem this all creates is when someone says that, you know, a calorie isn't a calorie or all calories aren't equal, it makes everyone think that they have to do such radical things, okay? And I even tweeted this. I'll bring this up. I probably should have brought this up in the beginning of the video, but this kind of gave me the idea. I tweeted things that don't result in weight gain: carbs, sugar, gluten, GMOs, hydrogenated oils, sodium, eating late at night, high-fat foods, skipping breakfast, or not eating enough. And then below that, I said things that do result in weight gain, and I mean this with love: eating too many calories. And like a gentleman kind of commented on it, and we had like an awesome debate on it actually, which is another thing. If you ever want to call me out on anything, if you ever think that, you know, you have more experience on a topic or that you've kind of went through it, you can always call me out on it or question me about it, because I'll never get offended. I'll only, like, I look at that as an advantage for both of us to learn more, and I can even learn more from you. So that's another thing, always comment about that. But he basically said, yes, that's true, but this, you know, that statement makes it feel like all calories are equal, which is totally not. And here's what I said. I said, my intention was to inform everyone that you don't have to take radical approaches to lose weight. What's optimal may not always be best if you can't follow it. Practical works for most. Macro splits are secondary to actually inducing a caloric deficit, which I told you guys in the, you know, a couple minutes earlier. But my whole point is with that is, yes, like, you should be aware of the food that you're eating. You should, you know, high protein, you know, keep your fat intake under control, you know, not have all of your calories come from carbs. But if you can lose weight doing that, because everybody's different, and I really respect everyone's like little intricacies in their situations, health markers, experiences, emotional ties to food. If it works for you, do it, okay? Now I know I'm kind of getting in this rabbit hole a little bit, but this all goes back to, you know, is a calorie a calorie? Yes, it is, but they're not all equal, but you could still lose weight as long as your calories are in check. So really, a calorie is a calorie. Now, does it matter? Of course it matters what you're eating. We know when we eat, you know, more nutritious things, we're gonna feel better, look better, you know, live longer. So of course it does. But my whole point with this is we want to make it as sustainable as possible. So maybe at first you only worry about calories, and then once you get that under control, you know, you're getting your protein in, so you're able to, you know, recover from your training sessions and stuff like that. Then you can start to worry, you know, maybe, you know, gluten doesn't react. You know, I don't react good to gluten or to dairy. Or maybe keto might be an option for me. Or maybe I want to try fasting. But when you try to do that stuff first and you think that that's necessary to lose weight, that's when people, you know, they get overwhelmed. Like, oh, I can't do this. Like, this lifestyle isn't meant for me. When in reality, all you have to do is make a little, like, subtle changes and just kind of be more mindful of your eating and stuff like that. But just to kind of wrap it up, a calorie is a calorie, which I know I've said a lot of times in this video. But I want to get that across. You know, 1 calorie is 1 calorie, 300 calories is 300 calories. It doesn't matter where it's coming from, but where it comes from is going to make you look and feel different in the end. So yes, they do matter. They're not all equal, but a calorie is a calorie. I hope this cleared that up for you guys, because like I said, it's a very kind of like gray area topic. You'll see even a lot of like MDs and like doctors kind of disagree on this. when it comes down to weight loss and body composition, you can technically eat whatever foods you want or any diet that works for you. The only reason that any diet or that any calorie controlled diet is working is simply because you're in a caloric deficit, so you're not taking enough energy to maintain your current weight. That's the only way that any of this stuff works. The problem and the gripe I have about this is people will say, you need to be gluten-free, a low-carb diet. Look, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you're under your calories, you can eat whatever the heck you want. Now, does that mean it's going to work for you? No, you gotta find something that's sustainable and you can remain consistent with for the long term. But hey, man, take it for what it's worth. A calorie is a calorie, but every food you eat and what you choose to put in your body is gonna make you feel different. So the overall answer is yes and no. I hate to be that guy, but it's so true. You guys know I wouldn't steer you any other way. All right, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support as always. Make sure you comment and let me know what you think about this topic, because like I said in the beginning, it can provoke some good arguments. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say. I hope you're having an awesome 2019. You're crushing all your goals. You're on your way to becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being part of this community, and I'll talk to you soon.